Noong nagsimula ang pangalawang digmaang pandaigdig sa bansa, ang pinagsanib puwersa ng Philippine Army Air Corps at ang US Far East Air Force ay siyang naging depensa sa himpapawid ng ating bansa laban sa mapanakop na Hapon. Subalit sa lakas at bilis ng mga fighter jet ng Hapon na kung tawagin ay Zero o ang Mitsubishi A6M laban sa P-shooter fighter planes ng Estados Unidos na pinapalipad ng mga pilotong Pilipino sa bansa, ay naging dehado ang laban ng mga ito sa Hapon. Ilan sa mga naging piloto ng P-shooter fighter planes ay sina Captain Jesus Villamor at Cesar Fernando Maria Tiangco Basa. Sa kabila ng kondisyon na may malaking agwat sa kalidad ng mga fighter plane ng Hapon kumpara sa Pilipino, ay hindi ito naging balakid para ituloy ang misyong ipaglaban ng bansa, bagay na ikinasawi ni Cesar Basa sa nangyaring dogfight ng mga fighter plane. Ang dogfight ay isang malapitang bakbakan sa himpapawid sa pagitan ng mga fighter plane gamit ang malaking kalibre ng baril o gunships sa salitang Ingles. Dahil sa kabayanihang ipinamalas ng mga nabanggit na piloto, ay ipinangalan sa mga ito ang iilang airbase sa ating bansa. Ito ay ang Villamor Air Base, Fernando Air Base at ang Basa Air Base.
First of all, welcome to Basa Air Base, the home of the 5th Fighter Wing. We term it as a fighter town Philippines, because dito nakabase ang mga military aircraft natin, especially yung fighter aircraft. We are already on our 75th year because we were established as old as the Philippine Air Force itself in 1947. So diamond year na natin to, na napakahaba ng history ng ng 5th Fighter Wing. Nakapangalan ito kay Cesar Basa, Basa Air Base. Siya ang pinakaunang fighter pilot na nakipaglaban noong World War II sa mga Hapon. Kasama niya si Villamor, napangalan din sa kanya Villamor Air Base, saka si Fernando, yung Fernando Air Base natin sa Lipa City. So tatlong major air bases ng Philippine Air Force was named after sa mga fighter pilots natin. And then during the World War II, we are fighting side by side with the US forces. So when the Philippine Army was transformed and lumabas na yung Philippine Air Force, pinangalan natin yung sa mga base militar natin from our very own Filipino fighter pilots who gave up their lives in defense of our country.
July 1, 1947, ang Philippine Army Air Corps Infantry Battalion ay formal nang naging sangay ng Armed Forces of the Philippines at pinangalan ng Philippine Air Force. Sa unang dekada pa lamang ng Philippine Air Force ay nakita na nito ang halaga at importansya sa pagtataguyod ng seguridad ng bansa. 1950s hanggang 1970s nang namayagpag ang puwersa ng hukbong himpapawid ng Pilipinas dahil sa mga kagamitang pandigma na kinatatakutan ng kahit sinong kalaban ng Estado. Mula sa P-51 Mustangs, T-33 T-Birds, F-86 Delta Sabres, F-86F Sabres, F-8 Crusaders, F-5 Freedom Fighters at AS-211 Trainer Warriors. Heyday kung maituturing ng Philippine Air Force ang naturang panahon dahil sa mga combat aircraft kung saan ang Pilipinas ay isa sa pinakamahusay na mandirigma ng himpapawid sa Timog Silangang Asya.
In the 60s, we used to be one of the best air forces within the Southeast Asia region.
Throughout history, ang 5th Fighter Wing was involved in all major campaigns, starting from the Hukbalahap Rebellion in the 1950s. Ginamit natin yung mga Mustangs natin. Nagpadala rin tayo ng mga aeroplano sa Congo, Africa, with our 9th Tactical Fighter Squadron. And especially during the 50s and the 60s, we are in our heyday. Kumbaga, andun ang pinakamarami nating fighter jets, nandun ang F-5 natin, F-86. And then during the Mindanao campaign, during the Muslim secessionists, we were there delivering yung mga F-5 fighter jets natin.
Noong June 1991, isa sa makasaysayang naganap sa bansa ay ang pagputok ng bulkang Pinatubo na nagdulot ng malaking pinsala sa bansa, lalo na sa hanay ng Philippine Air Force. Maraming kagamitang panghimpapawid at pasilidad ng Basa Air Base ang nawasak dahil sa pyroclastic flow at mga ibinugang abo na kalaunay naging lahar dahil sa tubig ulan.
Unfortunately, tinamaan tayo ng Mount Pinatubo eruption. Umalis yung support ng US forces sa atin, umalis ang US bases. Naramdaman din ng fighters yung downtrend sa ating economy. Tumaas ang presyo ng gasolina, bumaba ang liparan dito sa Fifth Fighter Wing. Ang Pilipinas ay, in a sense, nawalan tayo ng air defense cover. Nawala yung mga fighter planes natin. It was a very sad year for our base, and come 2005 na deactivate ang Fifth Fighter Wing. It was downgraded to a group, at ang Air Defense Command namin ay na-downgrade into a wing. Kasi nga, bumaba, natira na lang yung S-211 air assets natin.
Taong 2005 nang tuluyan na mawala ang natitirang F-5 Freedom Fighter aircraft sa bansa, at sa mahigit na 10 taong pagkawala ng fighter aircraft at pagbagsak ng fighter units, ang himpapawid ng Pilipinas ay hindi na nagbalik gaya ng dati. Naging tahimik, iniwang walang depensa, at dahil sa kawalan ng presensya mula sa mga fighter aircraft, ang Philippine Air Force ay nawalan na rin ng kakayahan na depensahan ang teritoryo ng himpapawid ng bansa. Isang makasaysayang giyera ang naganap noong 2017 na tumatak sa isipan ng bawat Pilipino. Ito ay dahil sa hindi inaasahang pananakop sa lugar ng Marawi ng mga teroristang pangkat ng Abu Sayyaf at Mauti, na kasapi ng isang terrorist organization na Islamic State of Iraq and Syria o ISIS. Umabot din sa 5 buwang pagkubkob ang nangyari sa Marawi dahil sa dami ng mga inokupang gusali sa lungsod, bagay na nagpapahirap sa opensiba ng militar. Gayunpaman, ang mga combat aircraft ng hukbong himpapawid ng Pilipinas ang isa sa inaasahan ng ground troops para maisagawa ang misyon at maiwasan ang pagkalagas ng tropa sa hanay ng militar.
It really gave the ground troops, the ground commanders, the opportunity to be able to plan well and be able to execute their maneuvers. So our missions would give them every day a ground to be able to cover, a ground to be able to recover for the government, for Marawi. So it was actually literally a fight inch of the way as they go along. So the FA-50 became the game changer for that campaign in Marawi and gave our ground troops and the ground commanders the much needed advantage that they need to be able to push through the objectives inside Marawi.
Actually, when the Marawi siege happened, yung Air Force is packet na. So may mga na-acquire na siyang assets na nagamit dun sa Marawi siege. Actually, ang naging nagamit natin na aircraft that time, yung AW109. That's a helicopter close air support aircraft. It can fire guns and rockets towards any target on the ground. And the other one is the FA-50 jets na meron tayong parang very accurate targeting system. Yung mga maliliit na sa ground, you don't need to estimate. Ipa-plot mo lang yung coordinates, and then minsan i-mark mo lang sa ating targeting pad, sa ating targeting system ng FA-50. Pag ni-release mo na yung bombs, doon siya pupunta. Doon sa system na yun kasi hindi siya basta-basta nalalaglag. Kung mali yung pindot, napaaga or na-late ang pindot, hindi siya magre-release kung hindi doon sa target babagsak. So kasama yun sa system. And yung mga luma natin aircraft, nagamit pa rin during that time. Like for example, yung Marchetti turboprop and also yung MG520 natin para doon sa mga follow-on air interdiction. So nung nagamit natin yan, mas nadali nakapasok yung ground troops natin, yung Philippine Army. Kaya parang na-recognize ng ground troops na ang air assets, ang Philippine Air Force particularly, ay naging game changer. Kasi kung wala yung participation o yung role ng ating mga aircraft, medyo matatagalan ang laban sa Marawi at maraming magiging casualty sa government side. So nung nangyari Marawi siege, meron na po tayong mga platforms to help in the resolution of that Marawi crisis.
Ang 15th Strike Wing po ang responsible for conducting tactical air operations. Ibig Ibig po sabihin, kami po yung nagpo-provide ng close air support at ng battlefield air interdiction in support sa ating mga ground forces. With the recent conflicts that we've had or campaigns, lalo na po yung sa Marawi, nakita niyo naman po na ang 15th Strike Wing ay nag-deliver po ng air power na tinatawag laban po sa mga iba't ibang puwersa or in that particular case yung pong Maute.
Sa kabila na madugong bakbakan sa pagitan ng mga sundalo terorista ay ipinamalas pa rin ng Philippine Air Force ang kanilang pambihirang kapasidad na gipain ang kuta ng mga terorista gamit ang mga combat aircraft na siyang naging game changer para mapagtagumpayan ang 5 buwan na sagupaan. Kaya't isa rin ang Marawi Siege sa dahilan para mas bigyan diin ang kahalagahan ng pagkakaroon ng makabagong kagamitang pandigma.
But we should be prepared. We should be prepared for any event, just like any other country in this world. We have to have a strong armed forces. We have to have a military that can really protect the people and the integrity of this republic.
Sa ilalim ng AFP Modernization Program ng Administrasyon Duterte, kasabay sa matinding bakbakan ng mga militar laban sa mga terorista sa Marawi, ay nagsipagdatingan ang iba't ibang uri ng mga dekalibring air assets ng Philippine Air Force. July 3, 2017, kasagsagan ng mainit na bakbakan nang madagdagan ng 2 FA-50 fighter jet ang bansa na isa sa naging game changer sa naturang pagkubkob.
Fortunately, nakapag-acquire tayo ng modern fighter aircraft. We have now the FA-50, which was proven to be the so-called game changer in the all major military operations in our armed forces. As a force provider, we were able to provide these fast-moving jets with very qualified and highly trained pilots to perform various missions nationwide.
July 27, 2017 nang dumating ang 2 Cessna 208B Caravan bilang air cargo sa iba't ibang uri ng misyon. November 3, 2017 nang magkaroon ng Air Defense Surveillance Radar ang Philippine Air Force na magsisilbing bantay sa kahit anong banta mula sa labas ng teritoryo ng bansa. At February 2, 2019 nang madagdagan muli ng isa pang Air Defense Surveillance Radar na sinundan naman noong March 11, 2020. March 13, 2018, dumating ang Animas Scan Eagle Unmanned Aerial System o UAS na isang uri ng drone na ginagamit sa pagmomonitor sa iba't ibang uri ng kaganapan sa bansa, mapadagat man o kalupaan. June 25, 2018, nang magkaroon ng 2 NC-212I LLFWA na isang light transport aircraft. Noong June 14, 2019, ipinadala ang isang FA-50 flight simulator and facility na nagbigay ng malaking tulong sa ating mga fighter pilots.
This is the FA-50 simulator. This is actually a high fidelity simulator, a full mission capable simulator. So we get to train the students faster for transitioning into the FA-50 once we subject the students into simulator training. So this would erase a lot of doubts when it comes to student training, and it will address a lot of uncertainties. One would be safety factor, so we don't subject the student to go first to the aircraft before he goes through the simulator. Another one would be for the learning process. So we want the learning curve of the student to be continuous before it plateaus into something na hindi na natin ma-address when it comes to learning process. The instructor pilot and the student would get to have a one-on-one interaction, and immediately the instructor pilot will be able to correct the students on what he needs to do, the procedure that he needs to run for a certain mission. And apart from that, we get to train students faster compared with the old method.
August 21, 2019, nang dumating ang 2 Hermes 450 Unmanned Aerial Vehicle o UAV drone at nadagdagan pa ng 2 Hermes 450 noong October 29, 2019, kasabay ng 3 Hermes 900 Unmanned Aerial Vehicle at noong August 21, 2020, nadagdagan muli ng 6 pa na Hermes 900 ang Philippine Air Force. Ang Hermes drones ay nakadisenyo para sa isang tactical long endurance missions. October 14, 2019 nang magkaroon ng C-2 turboprop aircraft o C-295M na isang uri ng medium tactical transport aircraft. Mula September 19 hanggang September 26, 2020, nagkaroon ng kabuoang 6 na close air support aircraft o A-29B Super Tucano ang bansa.
So with our current aircraft, so ito yung pinaka-latest aircraft natin, no, yung A-29B Super Tucano. No? So ito, ginamit na natin to for 8 successful missions. So combat missions to. So nakakapag-deliver na tayo ng 500-pound bombs and 260 pounds na unguided pero accurately tinatamaan natin yung mga targets natin. No? So meron din tayong guns, yung 50 caliber machine guns and 2.75-inch rockets. So in the future, magkakaroon din tayo ng mga laser-guided bombs na paparating na early, baka next year siguro, para dito sa ating Super Tucano. So very effective and very precise yung ating aircraft, no, na bagong dating.
September 20, 2020, na makatanggap ng isang C-2FW jet aircraft o G-280 ang Philippine Air Force na isang Presidential Airlift Wing at nagsisilbing sasakyang panghimpapawid ng iba pang matataas na opisyal ng gobyerno. November 9 at November 25 taong 2020, ipinadala ang 6 na combat utility helicopters o S-70I Black Hawk na maituturing na Army's frontline utility helicopter na maaaring gamitin pang air assault, air cavalry at aeromedical evacuation units na kaya magsakay ng 11 combat-loaded na mga sundalo. June 7, 2021, nang madagdagan pa ito ng 5 pang Black Hawk. At November 8, 2021, nang muli na namang magkaroon ng 5 pang naturang helicopters. March 9, 2022, dumating sa bansa ang 2 T-129 attack helicopters na kargado ng iba't ibang uri ng armamento gaya ng rocket launchers, 20mm Gatling gun, 16 CIRIT missiles, 8 air-launched Stinger at 70mm unguided rockets.
So the T-129, this dedicated attack helicopter was first the product. The conceptualization of this is from the Marawi siege in 2017. Nangangailangan tayo na much powerful and mas precise na weapon for the enemy para yung damage to properties ay ma-minimize. Then it has the power to fly at night na hindi na siya nakikita because of the IR ang kanyang mga ilaw. Because of this technology na meron siya, kung ano yung nakikita niya at kung ano lang ang kanyang target na gustong ma-acquire, dun lang pupunta yung kanyang mga weapons. So that is how this helicopter was first conceptualized. Ibig sabihin, kahit na mag-turn yung aeroplano to the left, it can stick on the target na kahit na hindi na nakatutok dun yung helicopter.
At ang mga inaasahang dadating sa Pilipinas ay isang Mi-171 o ang multipurpose helicopter at ang ground-based air defense system na may kakayahang proteksyonan ang Army, Air Force, land-based fixed asset at mga mobile platform mula sa mga banta sa himpapawid.
So ngayon, marami na tayong eroplano na nagagamit to accomplish those different types of missions. From airlift capability, yung search and rescue capability, and for internal security operations capability, and also yung territorial defense capability. So hindi lang puro eroplano din, pati yung mga personnel natin, skills required, and yung mga platforms that need to support those air assets are also being looked over para siguradong yung smooth operations ng ating mga kasundaluhan ay nagagawa natin lahat.
Ang Philippine Air Force ay isa lamang sa 3 sangay ng Armed Forces of the Philippines na naglalayong proteksyonan at tulungan ang mamamayang Pilipino sa pamamagitan ng mga makabagong air assets ng bansa. Kaya naman, taas nung ipinagmamalaki ng hukbong himpapawid ng Pilipinas na sa Administrasyon Duterte lamang muling naibalik ang puwersa o ang force ng Philippine Air Force.
Dati, air lang ang tawag sa amin, walang force. With the support of the President, every airman can proudly say that meron na tayong Air Force ngayon. Kaya nagpapasalamat po kami sa ating Pangulo dahil binigyan niya kami ng paraan, ng kagamitan upang mas lalo kaming makapaglingkod sa ating mga kababayan. Kaya napakalaking pasalamat po namin. At higit po doon, hindi lang yung ating mga mamamayan ang aming mapoprotektahan. Pati na rin ang kapwa sundalo, pati na rin yung lumilipad. Dahil sa bagong kagamitan, mas tiyak na ligtas at mas magiging matagumpay sa pag-perform ng aming mission. Kaya maraming salamat po.
Gusto kong sabihin sa ating mahal na Pangulo na maraming salamat sa suporta sa kanyang administrasyon po. Nag-materialize yung mga modernization ng ating Armed Forces of the Philippines, especially for the Philippine Air Force. Lahat po ng capability in terms of mobility, strike, command and control, search and rescue, sa kanya po nagmula. Sabi nga nila, ang bansa ay hindi uunlad kung merong mga threat, kung may insecurities or not secured areas para mag-invest yung ibang bansa. Ngayon, kung tayo secured, walang threat, walang fear, because we have a strong armed forces, sigurado po, we will achieve second or third or first world country in the near future. So maraming salamat po, Mr. President, and we hope to consult with you sometimes in case we need to ask for advices. So, salamat ulit.
Mr. President, Sir Mayor, thank you very much, sir, for supporting your soldier, for taking care of your soldier. We love you and again, sana ikaw na lang po palagi ang presidente.
In behalf of the 5th Fighter Wing, sa mga piloto natin, sa mga fighter pilots natin po, maraming salamat po. Napakalaking resources po ang naibigay, ang ibinuhos nyo sa aming wing upang mapapanatili nating secure ang ating skies, ang ating himpapawid. At 24/7 po namin nagagampanan ng aming mission. So napakalaking pasasalamat po ang ibinibigay nyo sa amin, especially sa mga nagbubuwis buhay sa pang-araw-araw na paglipad ng ating mga piloto. Maraming salamat po.
Sa ating mahal na Pangulo, si PRRD, maraming salamat, sir, sa suporta na binigay nyo sa Armed Forces, particularly sa Philippine Air Force, which I'm heading now. Naging Philippine Air Force na po siya. Dati Philippine Air lang, wala pong force. So maraming salamat sa inyong suporta at alam nyo na ang importansya ng defense is really meant to secure and protect the sovereignty of the country and of course to serve the people. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President.
Alam mo, the first job of a president is not to go to war, but rather to bring peace to his land. It is not a war to be fought forever. We cannot fight forever. We might have the weapons, the armaments, and the bullets, but the mortars. But that does not make a nation. My job is to bring peace. But hand in hand, I must also bring order in my country.
Si PRRD, he was the one who really pushed for the modernization of most of the platforms the Air Force now have. For example, yung mga surface strike capability, yung ating mga Super Tucano, yung ating AT-129, yung ating those helicopters are attack helicopters, no? So it's meant to support ground troops sa fight against local communist armed conflict. So gusto talaga matapos ng presidente yung problema na yan, yung internal conflict na yan.
Walang humpay na operasyon ang ginagawa ng Armed Forces of the Philippines kung saan ang Philippine Air Force ay isa sa naging katuwang nito para mapagtagumpayan ang laban sa insurhensya.
Itong Super Tucano ay nagamit na natin sa 8 combat missions, no? So lahat ng 8 combat mission na to ay laban sa communist terrorist groups. Ngayon, dahil napaka-effective nga nitong eroplano na to, yung kanyang precision equipment, ay tinatamaan natin or directly hit natin tinatamaan yung mga enemy encampment. At ang epekto nito ay nawawalan ng pag-asa yung mga kalaban na lumaban sa gobyerno at sila'y sumusuko.
Oh, actually, with the current inventory of our platforms, not only the strike capability of the Philippine Air Force, meron din tayo tinatawag na reconnaissance capability, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capability. So before we actually strike, to prevent any damage to the populace or collateral damage to any of the properties na hindi naman kasama dun sa target mo, merong role ang ISR, yung identification of targets before we hit the target na walang matatamaan na ibang, walang kamuwang-muwang na tao o pamilya or community. So, doon pinpointed, and we can do that any time of the day. Kaya nga minsan kung maririnig natin sa balita, marami nagsusurrender kasi hindi sila makatulog. Any time of the day or night or early morning, we can strike them. And mas maganda para sa kanila mag-surrender and have a new life, and susuportahan naman sila ng gobyerno. Kaya yung capability natin ngayon is enough for them to think twice of joining the rebels para in the long run, mas magaganda yung future nila kaysa yung they will stick it out dun sa bundok, hindi nila alam, paggising nila, patay na sila. Pero that's part of the game. We just have to eliminate terrorists and threats to national development and security.
Sa kabila ng kaliwat kanang hampas ng kalamidad na dulot ng mga bagyo, pagputok ng bulkan at iba pa, ang hukbong himpapawid ng Pilipinas ay siyang nagbigay ng kasagutan sa paglikas hanggang sa pagpapadala ng mga pangunahing pangangailangan ng mga biktima ng kalamidad, lalo na sa mga lugar na hirap ng marating ng mga sasakyang pandagat at panlupa.
Actually, yung Air Force, inaasahan po yan na first to deliver the necessary humanitarian assistance sa bawat calamity area. For example, nung nangyari nung Odette, nangyari yung December, immediately after the Odette occurred, yung aftermath, yung ating mga C-130s, yung mga medium lift platforms natin, they were able to gather relief goods, generator sets, tapos dinala nila kagad dun sa calamity-stricken areas kasi wala siyang kuryente. Wala siya lahat, wala silang tubig, wala silang pagkain kasi devastated. So yung mga ganung bagay, yung mga ating transport aircraft, sila nagdadala ng relief goods. Ngayon kung merong mga lugar na tinamaan ng calamity na hindi naaabot ng ating mga fixed-wing medium lift aircraft, nandiyan po yung ating mga helicopters. So sila naman magdadala ng relief goods, ng generators or tubig doon sa far-flung areas na hindi naaabot ng tulong. Pati yung mga search and rescue teams, sila rin nagdadala para ma-rescue, ma-recover kung ano man yung na-devastate ng mga bagyo.
Ipinagmamalaki rin ng Philippine Air Force ang mga sasakyang panghimpapawid at mga tauhan nito sa di matatawarang tagumpay bilang suporta sa pagsusumikap ng gobyerno na labanan ang pandemya na dulot ng COVID-19. Kabilang dito ay ang pagpapadala ng mga samot-saring medical supply gaya ng PPEs, vaccines at iba pang mga pangangailangan sa iba't ibang bahagi ng bansa.
Yung ating platforms, particularly on airlift capability, yung C-130s natin, tsaka yung C-295s natin, those are medium lift aircraft na sila yung natap ng government natin to get some PPEs, vaccines from international sources. Kasi noon, kung matatanda mo, nung pandemic, walang lumilipad na commercial. So, yung ginawa ng government, just to satisfy the requirements of PPEs, of vaccines, ang mga natap nila is yung ating C-130s. So, nagawa yon. And on top of that, for the distribution of these vaccines, of these test kits, ginamit naman natin yung ating mga Black Hawks to distribute sa mga far-flung areas. Kasi hindi mo rin magamit yung commercial to do these types of missions. So, lahat yung ginawa natin. In fact, yung mga air crew natin, kahit pawis na pawis sila kasi nakabalot din silang PPEs, they fly the missions. And they have to undergo the rigid screening process para hindi sila lumipad na infected sila. And once they land we change crew. Kasi mahirap naman pag ma-infect yung isang set, wala na lilipad. So we have to have prepared sets of air crew na gagawa ng mission. So marami tayong na-contribute sa COVID response, and kudos to my airmen for their sacrifices.
Malaki rin ang ginagampanang tungkulin ng Philippine Air Force sa pagsasagawa ng maritime patrol sa West Philippine Sea. Ito ay sa pamamagitan ng pagdepensa ng soberanya at proteksyonan ang marine resources ng bansa.
Yan very important role natin dyan. Kasi malawak yung West Philippine Sea. At it's really a doctrine of using all the available forces available to preserve our maritime domain. Kasi yung Air Force, first line of defense yan. O, sabihin na natin, sila yung unang nakakarating sa any area kasi mabilis. So, ang role ng Air Force, pagka mayroong intrusions o may mga, kahit wala intrusion, sabihin natin, yung mga report ng fisherman na may mga ganito, una yung Air Force to go there and verify, do regular maritime patrols. Tapos sila yung magbabato sa unified our sovereignty areas, our tawag dito yung EEZ, established EEZ. So tuloy lang.
Yes, actually it is the primary functions of our air defense, the 5th Fighter Wing as the main combatant unit, to really safeguard our skies. Kami yung frontline of defense as far as air defense is concerned. Actually, we were there. Lumilipad kami sa gitna ng dagat sa West Philippine Sea to check kung may mga intrusions ba sa mga territory natin, because we cannot let our guards down. We are here 24/7. Sabi ko nga, ang piloto natin are well-trained. Ang eroplano natin ay up-to-date. So, we can do missions 24/7. Kahit bumabagyo, umuulan, umaga, gabi, andyan kami.
Ang FA-50 fighter jet na isang uri ng light combat aircraft ay isa sa mga ipinagmamalaking air asset ng Philippine Air Force. Binansagang mandirigma ng himpapawid ang mga piloto nito dahil sa kapasidad nitong makipagtunggali sa iba't ibang uri ng fighter aircraft mula sa mga bansang naisakupin at maghasik ng gulo sa Pilipinas. Kaya naman, bilang isang piloto ng naturang combat aircraft ay hindi basta-bastang responsibilidad ang nakaatang sa kung sino man ang magiging piloto nito.
Well, first, before you become a fighter pilot, you need to become an officer. So as an officer, alam naman natin, there's so many things that you have to undergo before you become one. And we are officers first. That's what a lot of people should know before we become a pilot. And then once you go through that, after becoming a pilot, then now the next challenge is to become a fighter pilot. Because I would say that fighter pilots are different from other pilots in terms of so many things. Because the mission sets that we perform, we are always on the front line. We are the vanguards of the sky, I should say. Because as fighter pilots, not just we protect the country from the internal threats, but it's mostly external. So with that kind of mission on our shoulders, as bear sa amin, you need to be a very special type of pilot, and that's the fighter pilot. So para sa akin, para maging ganun ka, you need to put your life in your profession as a fighter pilot. Because hindi lang ito parang decision na I just want to look cool. I just want to wear that helmet. I just want to breathe through the mask, you know. I just want to be called Top Gun. But there's so many responsibilities on your shoulder once you become a fighter pilot.
So what makes a fighter? It's not the fighter aircraft. What makes a fighter is as a weapon system is the fighter pilot. Siya actually yung fighter weapon system. Saan mong ilagay siya na equipment, sang mission, sang capacity as an officer sa ground, kahit sa dagat or kung sa office mo siya ilagay, he is a fighter pilot and he is able to perform and be a force multiplier para sa organization. So wherever he may be, he is a lethal operator, able to perform the mission anytime, anywhere, and on target, on time, every single time.
Any gender can accomplish what I've only accomplished. So to the youth, or for that matter to anyone who wanted to join to be a fighter pilot, there is no limitation in what you can achieve as long as you are just dedicated and have the passion in flying. And of course, more prayers. And as a female, dapat hindi nila ito tinitingnan as weakness but instead as a strength, because as a female, we can do anything as long as we just believe in ourselves.
So it's that resiliency which allows you to be better every single day. You're better than the person you are before, and you're able to bounce back, learn from your mistakes, learn from the best practices of others, and you can push on, be better, because in our business, there's no such thing as good enough. You want to be better every single day, every single flight, every single briefing, every single mission that you do. So it's that resiliency, persistence, that discipline to push on and just be the best version of yourself.
Ang kailangan mo lang talaga yung puso, yung passion mo to serve our country for a higher purpose.
So service to the nation. Kaya ako nandito sa trabahong to because I love my country. Every time I fly, I dedicate it to the Filipino people and the sovereignty of my country.
So the price of freedom is steep, but it's a price worth paying for.
Sa mahabang panahon na lumipas, ngayon lang nasaksihan ng bawat Pilipino ang totoong puwersa ng hukbong himpapawid ng sandatahang lakas ng Pilipinas. Iba't ibang pagsubok man ang dumaan sa ating bansa, ang mga mandirigma ng Philippine Air Force ay laging nariyan para gampanan ang kanilang sinumpaang tungkulin na proteksyonan at tulungan ang bawat mamamayan sa ating bansa. Para sa Pilipinas ko mahal, ako si Franco Baranda at ito ang aking SMNI Special Report.